Today we are going to discuss two interesting compounds. The first is propolis. It is sometimes called bee glue, and is a brownish resinous material collected by worker bees from the leaf buds of numerous tree species like birch, poplar, pine, alder, willow and palm. To manufacture propolis, bees use material actively secreted by plants, or exuded from wounds in plants. This exuded material is enriched with salivary and enzymatic secretions and is used by bees to cover hive walls, fill in cracks or gaps, and embalm insects that have invaded the hive. Its color varies depending on its botanical source, with dark brown being the most common. In the research described in this paper, published in the journal Nutrition and Metabolism, mice were used. The mice were divided into 4 groups. Mice in one group were fed a normal diet with 10% of calories coming from fat. The other 3 groups were fed a high-fat diet with 60% of calories coming from fat. 2 groups of high-fat diet mice were additionally given propolis. One propolis group was given a low dose consisting of 150 mg per kilogram of body weight, while another group was given a high dose consisting of double the low dose, or 300 mg of propolis per kilogram of body weight. This experiment lasted for 9 weeks. The research team looked at the data to see if the results differed between male and female mice. Here we see weight results for the male mice. As would be expected, the high-fat diet male mice gained more weight than the mice fed a normal diet. The administration of low dose of propolis failed to prevent high-fat diet-fed mice from becoming overweight. That is, although the low-dose mice gained less weight, the difference was not statistically significant. However, the high dose of propolis did significantly decreased body weight gain. And, the same things can be said about the female mice. Those on a high-fat diet gained much more weight than the mice on a normal diet. And, like the males, only the females receiving the high dose of propolis gained significantly less weight than the mice on the high-fat diet without the benefit of propolis. Further, the weights of adipose tissue from various places on the body were measured and compared. These charts show the weights of perirenal adipose tissue, which is a layer of fatty material surrounding the kidney. As you can see, the mice on a high-fat diet had considerably more of this fat than the mice on a normal diet. And, only the high dose of propolis offered noticeable protection from weight gain. Overall, propolis has shown its potential for curbing weight gain. Additional results of this study showed that oral administration with propolis improved all the metabolic marker levels compared to the normal diet group, including UCP1. And, both low-dose and high-dose propolis stimulated the growth of brown adipose tissue. In addition, the mice given propolis displayed better insulin sensitivity, and lower levels of metabolic endotoxemia, liver steatosis, and systemic inflammation. So, propolis is a clear champion for those who have a few pounds to lose. Our next natural weight loss solution is quercetin. It is a plant flavanol found in many fruits, vegetables, leaves, seeds, and grains, such as capers, red onions, and kale. It has a bitter flavor and is used as an ingredient in dietary supplements, beverages, and foods. In this study mice were again used. They were divided into 4 groups. 2 groups were fed a low-fat diet, and 2 groups were fed a high-fat diet. In addition, one group consuming the low-fat diet and one group consuming the high-fat diet were supplemented with quercetin. After 16 weeks the mice that were on the high-fat diet and supplemented with quercetin showed a significant reduction in weight gain. In addition, researchers found that the uncoupling protein 1 that activated brown adipose tissue was significantly upregulated in group fed the high-fat diet that supplemented with quercetin. No significant differences were noted in the mice fed the low-fat diet. Adipose tissues are classified into 2 different types, white adipose tissue and brown adipose tissue. White adipose tissue is the primary site for storage of excess fat, and brown adipose tissue is responsible for non-shivering thermogenesis, in which energy is dissipated as heat. There is growing evidence that white adipose tissue can acquire brown-like characteristics, known as browning of white adipose tissue. This study again used mice to investigate this aspect of thermogenesis. After adapting for 1 week, mice were randomly divided into 2 groups. Both groups were fed a high-fat diet with 60% of calories coming from fat. One group supplemented with quercetin. This experiment lasted for 9 weeks. Body weights and food intakes were measured weekly. One result of this experiment indicates that dietary quercetin increases uncoupling protein 1 expression in brown adipose tissue. As seen here, there is significantly more of the UCP1 in the mice supplemented with quercetin, and thus, more activity of brown adipose tissue for burning calories to produce heat. Now, about the white adipose tissue. The UCP1-mediated thermogenic response is regulated primarily by the sympathetic nervous system through the binding of norepinephrine to the beta-3 adrenergic receptor. As you can see, the levels of plasma norepinephrine in quercetin-supplemented high-fat diet-fed obese mice were significantly higher than in high-fat diet-fed obese controls. Additionally, the quercetin supplementation tended to upregulate levels of beta-3 adrenergic receptors in white adipose tissue. This is indicative of the browning of white adipose tissue, which will use calories to generate heat. So, again today, we have seen scientific evidence for 2 more natural weight loss solutions. Namely, propolis and quercetin. I hope you are using this information to reach and maintain a healthy weight. Next time we'll look at more natural weight loss solutions.
Thanks for viewing our video. I hope it has given you some healthy ideas. Now, put them into action. Hope to see you in the next video. Have a fantastic day.